In 610 CE, Muhammad ibn Abdullah, a merchant from the bustling trade hub of Mecca, ignited a religious upheaval in the Arabian Peninsula, birthing Islam from a solitary vision in the cave of Hira. Born in 570 CE into the Quraysh tribe, his early life unfolded amid tribal rivalries and polytheistic traditions centered on the Kaaba's 360 idols, a landscape ripe for transformation. At age 40, he claimed revelations from the angel Gabriel, launching a movement that grew from a handful of followers to a dominion of 50,000 to 100,000 by his death in 632 CE. This essay asserts a commanding chronicle of Islam's origins and expansion, tracing Muhammad's steps from Mecca's resistance to Medina's power base and back to his birthplace in triumph. His merchant acumen and relentless recitation of 6,236 verses across 114 chapters, later compiled as the Quran, fueled a system that capitalized on Arabia's disarray. From an orphan shepherd to a ruler wielding zakat and khums, his creation leveraged weakened empires and tribal chaos to cement its hold. Muslims revere him as Allah's final prophet, tasked with delivering a universal faith, yet his revelations echo Jewish, Christian, and Hanif tales, seamlessly fused into a new doctrine. Integrating Quranic directives, historical records, and traditional narratives, this analysis reveals a man whose vision, divine or otherwise, mastered timing and tenacity. His daily preaching and strategic aggression turned a personal idea into a faith now spanning 1.8 billion adherents, a testament to his unyielding pursuit and the fortuitous currents that amplified his message across Arabia and beyond. Muhammad's journey commenced in Mecca, a pilgrimage and trade nexus where the Quraysh thrived on the Kaaba's idol worship. Orphaned by 6, he rose from shepherd to merchant, marrying the wealthy widow Khadija at 25, securing stability. In 610 CE, his retreats to Hira yielded the first revelation, "Read in the name of your Lord who created," delivered by Gabriel, an entity he feared might be demonic. Khadija and her Christian cousin Waraka convinced him of his prophetic role, forming a private circle, Khadija, Ali, Abu Bakr, that went public by 613 CE. His call for one God and moral reform antagonized the Quraysh, whose pilgrimage commerce relied on polytheism, sparking mockery, boycotts, and violence. Followers like Bilal endured torture, he faced filth hurled at him. By 622 CE, with 100 to 200 adherents, the deaths of Khadija and Uncle Abu Talib left him exposed, and a Quraysh assassination plot forced his flight. Early revelations, brief and poetic, urged patience, laying a foundation he'd later expand with legalistic directives, a shift suggesting a mind attuned to evolving needs. His persistence amid adversity reflects a deeper design, perhaps resentment toward the Quraysh elite he lambasted for greed. The Quran's 114 surahs, totaling 6,236 ayahs, began as a personal fixation, drawing from Abrahamic tales. Abraham, Moses, encountered via trade routes to Syria, infused with his own Arabian twist. This initial struggle planted seeds that would flourish in Medina, where his outsider status within the Quraysh and merchant savvy found fertile ground to challenge the status quo. In 622 CE, Muhammad's migration to Medina, the Hijra, marked a pivotal shift, fleeing a Quraysh murder plot with Abu Bakr, narrowly escaping capture in a cave. Medina's Aws and Khazraj tribes, embroiled in conflict since the Battle of Buwaydih, welcomed him as a neutral arbiter after pledges at Aqaba. Arriving with 70 to 100 Meccans, he united them with local converts, sparking growth. 300 defeated 1,000 Quraysh at Badr in 624 CE. Revelations sanctioned violence. Fight those who fight you, ushering in aggression with raids like Nakhla and battles at Uhud and the Trench, swelling his ranks to 3,000 by 627 CE. The Hudaybiyah Treaty with Quraysh showcased his leverage, paving the way for Mecca's conquest in 630 CE with 10,000. Zakat, a 2.5% wealth tax, emerged around 625 CE, binding Muslims financially, while Khums, 1/5 of war spoils, funneled resources to him, a lucrative flow suggesting a system crafted for control. Revelations grew practical. Marriage laws, community governance, transforming a fringe notion into a ruling entity. Medina remained his base, its loyalty trumping Mecca's past betrayal, despite his modest life in a mud house with patched clothes. This contrast hints at a facade masking ambition. His merchant-honed charisma and outsider appeal turned Medina's chaos into a unified ummah, expanding from 200 to tens of thousands by 632 CE, a testament to daily recitations and strategic maneuvers that leveraged Arabia's disarray into dominance. After reclaiming Mecca in 630 CE with 10,000 followers, Muhammad operated from Medina, extending Islam across Arabia through force and diplomacy. Khaybar's fall yielded Jewish lands, while Hunayn crushed Hawazin tribes, boosting converts. Tabuk, a 400-mile northern trek, met no Byzantine resistance. Tribes submitted instead. Delegations from Yemen, Bahrain, and Najd offered allegiance or tribute, with non-Muslims paying jizya. Najran Christians gave cloth, Khaybar Jews half their produce. Muslims paid zakat, formalized by 630 CE, swelling community coffers. Emissaries like Muadh to Yemen spread the Quran. 114 surahs, 6,236 ayahs, completed at his death. Abrogation adjusted earlier verses. Wine banned late, ensuring adaptability. By 632 CE, Arabia knelt, 50,000 to 100,000 strong. Yet he died in Medina, buried there, not Mecca, its Kaaba cleansed as a symbol, not his seat. His tax system, zakat, khums, jizya, funneled wealth, with spoils and tribute incentivizing loyalty, a structure implying profit over piety. The Quran's compilation under Uthman preserved his recitations, with companions like Zayd ibn Thabit asserting no loss, though murmurs of missing verses persist. His daily preaching, even on his deathbed, propelled this expanse, turning a Meccan whisper into a unifying roar. Leveraging Arabia's chaos, tribal feuds, empire fatigue post-Byzantine Sassanid War, his merchant past and outsider roots outpaced rivals like Musaylima, crafting a faith poised for caliphal conquests beyond Syria, Persia. After 632 CE, a legacy rooted in Medina's strategic crucible. Muslims proclaim Muhammad's vision as Allah's mandate, to guide humanity to worship one God, restoring Abraham's monotheism as the final prophet. His goals span salvation, paradise via the Quran, and a just ummah, evidenced by zakat and mercy at Mecca's fall. From his first revelation in 610 CE, read, he trembled, fearing madness, to his last in 632 CE, he recited daily, sweating and collapsing, claiming Gabriel's bell-like press. Early doubt faded. By Medina, he ruled with assurance, uniting 100,000. Revelations shifted, vivid visions to practical codes, a pattern of mastery. His merchant past, Syria trips, Al-Amin, and orphanhood bred tenacity, rejecting Quraysh bribes, hinting at ambition or reform over wealth, with no sons to inherit. Muslims laud his illiteracy as divine proof. 6,236 ayahs over 23 years, no gaps. Yet his exposure to monotheistic tales suggests a crafted blend. His zeal, preaching, fighting, outran rivals like Musaylima, fueled by Medina's throne and Arabia's need. Timing, tribal chaos, empire decline, amplified his push, dying active, not retired. The Quran, Hadith, and Sharia. Later splitting into Sunni, Shia, Sufi, bound followers with zakat, khums, and jizya, a system too tight for mere faith. His death in Medina, not Mecca, tied him to loyalty, leaving a faith Muslims see as Allah's mercy, executed with fervor, suggesting a legacy beyond one man. Islam's core is the Quran, 114 surahs, 6,236 ayahs, revealed to Muhammad from 610 CE, compiled post-death by Uthman. Muslims deem it Allah's complete word, though its oral roots hint at potential omissions. Hadith, his sayings, detail practices, prayer, zakat 2.5%, while tafsir explains, and sirah contextualizes, forming sharia, marriage, justice, a web implying meticulous design. Zakat 625 CE and Qum 624 CE funded Muslims. Jizya taxed non-Muslims, Khaybar Jews, Najran Christians paid, suggesting a conversion lure with spoils and aid. Revelations, surahs chapters, ayahs verses, began poetic, turned legal, with abrogation adjusting, wine banned late. Companions like Zayd ensured all reached the Quran, or so they claim. Daily recitations, public, private, drove spread to 100,000 by 632 CE, a trance-like act cementing belief. Islam means submission, Muslim a submitter, his terms, Muhammadan's missteps he'd reject. Post-death, Sunni 90% backed caliphs, Shia 15% imams, Sufis sought mysticism, his vision birthed variety. From one idea, recited in Medina's hub and Mecca's symbol, it unified Arabia's chaos. Tribal splits, empire fatigue 602 to 628 CE, with merchant charisma echoing Abraham. Zakat, Qums, and Jizya funneled wealth, a profit system masked as faith? His 23-year push, raids, laws, crafted a structure too robust to falter, now guiding 1.8 billion, a legacy suggesting a man possessed by his creation, whether divine will or human craft, per Muslims. Muhammad ibn Abdullah, born in 570 CE, forged Islam from a revelation in 610 CE into a force commanding Arabia's 50,000 to 100,000 by 632 CE. From Mecca's merchant to Medina's ruler, his 23-year campaign, flight in 622 CE, Mecca's fall in 630 CE, capitalized on tribal disarray and empire decline. Muslims hail him as Allah's last prophet, delivering the Quran for humanity's submission, justice, and salvation, a vision perfected. His early terror morphed into daily recitations, sweating, trembling, spanning 6,236 ayahs, rich with Abrahamic echoes. Mecca's 13-year resistance, 100 converts amid boycotts, yielded to Medina's wars and Arabia's sweep, reflecting a man whose Alameen charisma and orphan grit turned chaos into an ummah. Zakat, Qums, and Jizya funneled wealth, spoils, tribute, a system hinting at calculated gain, yet his mudhouse life defies greed. His daily zeal outran rivals, spreading from 100 to 1.8 billion today. His death in Medina, not Mecca, tied him to loyalty, leaving a faith, Quran, Sharia, Hadith, too structured to collapse. Arabia's unity and caliphal conquest stem from his vision, submission to Allah or mastery of men, a legacy suggesting a merchant's ploy, honed by Syria's tales, or divine fate. His 23-year push, raids, laws, recitations, crafted a faith enduring across centuries, a testament to timing, tenacity, and a system suggesting more than one man's idea could achieve.